Graham, good to have you on the show.
G'day, Ben. Thank you for inviting me on to have a chat with you.
You're a different type of guest that we've had on, which I thought would be interesting for the audience to hear about. You obviously had an intention of becoming a buyer's agent. You didn't pursue that path. You've gone down a different path, which we're going to talk about and unpack. But I wanted to start back. When did you first get into real estate?
It would have been 2010 as a 25-year-old. So I went to uni, realised I wasn't going to do what I wanted at uni, and I think 25 jumped into real estate. Did that for a year, and then actually jumped into new home sales pretty much the following year. And so I did new home sales for about 9 years. So that was my first. I bought a couple of investment properties along the way. None of them did very well because I was in Perth, and Perth had no growth. So that was my introduction to property. But always loved it.
How was it selling new homes?
New homes was good. Like absolutely loved it. You know, as a guy in your sort of mid late 20s, even early 30s, it was really good commissions, really good money for a long time. So always enjoyed it's a little bit of a boys' club when you're that sort of age, and got heaps of your mates and that sort of that you're selling with. So for many years, I really enjoyed it. I suppose after a while, I'd probably had enough of it because you got a bit burnt out. Anyone that knows the Perth market, it got pretty average for a little bit towards prior to the pandemic. So I ended up jumping out in 2019 to figure out what I wanted to do next.
Love it. You have a reputation, and you are building a larger reputation around your expertise. I guess your specialist skill in flipping properties, right?
Yep.
When did you flip your first property?
2021, so only a couple of years ago. I actually had an investment property in, I think it was April 21. I had to kick out a tenant. The house had been trashed. They'd been in there for 10 years, and I had to do something to this house. And I realised the only way I was going to, be able to sell it and not, do semi okay from it after holding it for so long was to do a renovation on it. And then I decided to flip it. So that was kind of an introduction for me. And then I thought, I did the renovation pretty quickly. It was 4 week complete makeover, and I thought, there's something in this. So I sort of started delving into how I can get educated on flipping houses for profit.
How'd the first one go?
The first one was a good one. I bought a property in Waikiki. I purchased it for $255,000, and I did about a $38,000 renovation. I sold it for $415. After all expenses, I made about $92K profit on the first one.
Not bad for the first one.
Yep.
So since then, you've done around 20. Is that right?
So I've finished. I'm on my number 18th flip, and I've also renovating a property that I purchased in my self-managed super fund, and I've also got 2 more that I'm just about to settle on.
What attracted you to this flipping niche?
Well, to be honest, it was cash flow. Like I had a like I said, when I did new home sales, I was in a fairly decent position, and then financial situation changed a little bit when the market got bad. Hence, I went and did FIFO for a couple of years. So, I had a few properties that were negatively geared, and like I said, the Perth market wasn't that great. So, I decided that I needed to build up some cash flow, and I saw the the benefit of from the first few flips, and I thought, there's an opportunity here to create cash flow. So that was what attracted me to it. Yeah, the strategy will definitely change. I'm doing a development at the moment, holding that, and I was going to start accumulating a bit more property, but starting out, obviously the cash flow was attractive.
How important is it to, I guess, understand the skill, the strategy involved, like whether it's tax related, acquisition related, obviously in terms of, making sure you don't overcapitalize in the reno, all that type of stuff. Like, how important is it, do you think, for someone to make sure they clearly understand it all?
Yeah, it's really important. It's funny because I obviously get a lot of people reaching out to me now, and they've started flipping houses, and they don't even know how to do a feasibility. Like I literally had a guy messaged me. He hit me up on Messenger maybe a few weeks ago, and he said to me, "Oh, I've just bought a property for 1.3, and I'm going to sell it for 1.6." And he goes, "But I'm doing all the work myself. That's how I do it." And I didn't even know who this guy was, and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Have you done the numbers on it?" And he was like, "Oh, in my head." And I was like, "Yeah, right. Okay, that's the quickest way to lose money." So, yeah, no, it's really important. There's the whole process. You've got to know, first, you've got to do your market research. You've got to know the market you're playing in. You need to know who the buyer is, so you can deliver a product that the buyers want. And that doesn't matter what end of the market is. Whether it's lower end investor market, whether it's more higher end sort of owner occupied type market. It just depends on who the market is as to what product you got to deliver. Because if you don't deliver what the buyer wants, then you're not going to get your price, and that's when you're going to come undone. But and on top of that, obviously, there's all the other, you need to know how to do feasibilities. You need to be able to, walk into a house and take notes and walk away and do an accurate, renovation, cost forecast. Um, yeah, and then obviously there's the whole prospecting and finding deals and finding deals off market and leveraging real estate agents to bring you opportunities as well. So yeah, it's a there's a lot to it. Yeah, you just got to put the work in. It's like anything, Ben. You just once you put the work in, you learn, and then it becomes second nature.
What are the top few mistakes that you see? I mean, you mentioned earlier about knowing your numbers, but what do you see the most common top mistakes you see people make when they go in to try and flip?
I think it's emotion because a lot of people they just want the deal so much that they will pay whatever they have to pay to get it, or they will pay over and above what their walkaway price actually was, and therefore they might be relying on growth and stuff like that to get their projected outcome. So I think that's one big issue for people. And the second one would be probably again emotion. Is they renovate it like it's the house that they're planning on their forever home, and they spend money in areas that they don't need to spend money in. So again, that comes back to knowing your market. And if you know your market, then you can obviously renovate and know where to spend money and know when you don't need to spend money.
Love it. You obviously had an intention of becoming a buyer's agent. You obviously came through our program, and then you you did a few deals in your first month. Is that right? Or
Yeah, I did actually. I did three, and then I sort of started. Yeah, so basically, I did your program. I had every intention. I sort of was setting it up for a few months, and then when I obviously got my certificate to be able to start um, acting as a buyer's agent, through leverage. All of a sudden, I just started getting a lot of people hitting me up regarding the flipping, and I started putting it out there. I didn't really know what I was doing as far as content. I've never really been a social media guy until about 3 or 4 months ago. So um, yeah, so that was the story. I ended up stopping and pivoting and going, okay, you know people are sort of recognizing me as someone who's flipping houses and having success from that. So maybe I should go down that route.
yeah, awesome. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, when we first connected about you coming on the show, obviously you made it clear, hey, I'm not a buyer's agent now, and I thought, well, that's great because it's not just about people who come through the program having to then become a buyer's agent. I think the fact that you have now pivoted, which we're going to talk about, you're now running a course to show people how they can flip and learn all those intricate details. And I think that's fantastic how you've looked at what's important for you in terms of your objectives with how you want to live your life and what you want to do, and you thought, hey, seems like you got more leverage with the online course. You're in front of a computer. You probably got better time management as well as a result of that as an
Definitely.
output. Um, so when did you? So let's just talk about this course. When did you launch the course?
It only launched on October 16th, which is what?
Okay,
Yeah, not even 2 months ago.
so it's fresh, and specifically, you're teaching people how to flip.
Yeah, so it's basically it's an 8 week course, and I just go through the process from start to finish really. So there's I teach people how to do market research. I teach people how to buy off market. I teach people how to do their due diligence and feasibility and that sort of stuff. I show people how to creative finance. So that's a big one. Like people don't realize. People think I've got no serviceability. I can't buy a property. With a bank. But when you're flipping, you don't need a bank because it's not a long term loan. So therefore, if you're in and out of the deal quickly, then you can leverage private lenders and money partners and that sort of stuff. You can even leverage commercial lending and stuff like that if it's a more expensive deal. So there's, you know, if you do, it's all on your numbers, right? Like yeah, you might have to pay higher interest rates and that, but it's all about your buy price. If you can make the numbers work by buying it well enough, then you'll be okay. So I teach that. And then obviously there's, you have to create your team who's going to, because I'm not handy. I can't even use a screwdriver. So I project manage everything I do. And then, so I teach people to, you don't want to be on the tools. You want to get other people to do the work. And your job's to schedule the trades, be that point of contact. And then obviously there's the renovation part and selling the property as well.
How big is, like, when I say the flipping community, I'm talking about active people in the marketplace in Australia who are like you, um, who are just flipping for themselves. Like, is there a big community out there that are doing this day
Yeah,
to day?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know the exact numbers, but I mean, there's some big property groups out there that are, that I mean, full transparency. That's how I learned. Like I did a course, and then I got a coach, and I mean, the lady that I've started actually interviewing people as well that are, I'm trying to meet people that have been doing what I'm doing to show other people in my Facebook community and that people are doing this and being successful. So, I mean, I know my first coach, she'd done something like 60 flips or something like that, So, like, I mean, in Perth, I know of, definitely a handful of people that are doing it. I mean, yeah, there's people all over Australia flipping houses. There's no doubt about it. Yeah,
In terms of, like, in following this as an investment strategy, let's just say there is someone out there who maybe has bought a property, or let's just say they haven't even bought a property.
yeah.
Is this a risk appetite for someone who's a bit seasoned, or you think it's someone who's fresh, or how would you describe the risk appetite?
So I think it's for both. Like, what I really like about property flipping is, and it's, if let's say you're a seasoned investor, right, and you're tapped out, you've got no serviceability, or you've got no, like, you can literally leverage and you can use someone else's money. You can make a quick 50, 100K profit from it, and you can use that to move into your next long term hold. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people that do that. If you're a first home buyer and you're wanting to, you can't save up for your first deposit or something like that. Well, what's stopping you from doing a flip and getting your deposit for your first home? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I like about it. It's cash flow. Like, a lot of investors always say to me, "Oh, why do you flip? Why don't you just hold on to them and that sort of stuff?" And look, I get it. Like, I agree, you have to accumulate property and build wealth that way. Accumulating over a longer period of time is a better wealth creation strategy, 100%. But if you want to leave your job and you want to go full time property, well, flipping houses is perfect because you could flip 3 or 4 houses a year, replace your income at work, and then still accumulate and do developments and whatever other strategy you want to do to accumulate property. Do you know what I mean? So you can use the flipping for however you want to move forward.
Yeah, interesting. So if you're someone who hasn't bought property before, and let's say you want to get out of your
No,
9 to 5, whatever you're doing, um, you think to jump in potentially and start flipping and doing that, 2 or 3 or 4 a year is feasible.
anyone, mate, anyone can get. I literally started with about 50 grand in the bank, like, for my first flip. So I used a money partner to fund the purchase, and then I funded the renovation. That was the first deal. The second deal I didn't use any of my own money. I literally found a money partner, and it was just a straight flip. Like, so the second deal I did, I remember I flipped it without doing anything, made 40K profit. So, like, I've got 2 deals settling in January next year. One of them is a straight flip. Like, I've purchased, it's worth 600 all day. I purchased it off market for 500. Nothing wrong with the house. Not even going to have to renovate it. I mean, yeah, I'm going to lose, stamp duty and all the rest of it, but I'll comfortably walk away with 50K even after paying an agent to sell it for me. Do you know what I mean? And
Mm.
potentially using a money partner to purchase it if So my point is, you can, if you're savvy and you can find off market opportunities, there's good money to be made for cash flow. Which, like I said, if I'd rather be doing that than at work doing a 40-hour week and then trying to do property after work before I go to bed.
Yeah, 100%. So for the audience's benefit, like, talk through money partners.
Yeah, okay. So money partners are the saving grace, right? So anyone can be a money partner. Like Ben, you could be a money partner. I could be a money partner. Anyone listening can be a money partner. They just have to have money, right? And there's a lot of people that actually have money, right? So look, what I find a lot, what I find with money partners is quite often they might be people that are wanting to get and start being active in and doing deals, but they sit on the sidelines at the start or come in as a money partner to learn the ropes of how flipping that sort of thing works. You also get a lot of cash dot people, busy professionals that don't have time to do their own deals. I mean, look, I pay my money partners 15% per annum. Okay, so if let's say I borrowed, if I borrowed 100K over a year, that would be 15K. But I'm typically in and out of a deal in 3 or 4 months. So, if I borrow 300K from someone and I'm in and out of the deal in 3 or 4 months, in 3 months, it's I'm only paying in 4 months 15 grand return, right? So it's cheap money because I don't have to go to the bank. I don't have to do like applications and all that sort of stuff. I can do cash contracts because I know my money partners are going to fund the deal. Like it's just it's just a cost of doing business. But the huge benefit for the money partner is like a lot of money partners, they use their self-managed super fund to borrow money or to lend money, I should say. So like I was a money partner on a deal recently. I put 130,000 out of my self-managed super fund into someone else's deal for a year. It was actually a development deal, and I got back 20 grand. I mean, that's pretty good for your self-managed super fund. Put in 130, 12 months later get 150 back. So there's lots of people out there who they just want that passive income, and if they're I mean, I've got a couple. They're retired. They're doing very well for themselves, but they've got money and they keep funding my deals. I've got some finance brokers that also jump from deal to deal with me. So yeah, so it's anyone can be a money partner, and a lot of the time they're business professionals. They've got cash flow, and rather than the cash sitting there in the bank not doing anything, they rather put it in a deal and get a return.
Yeah, makes sense. And so these money partners, like you mentioned, 15% per annum, is that unsecured?
Well, so typically the way I do it is there's two options. You can obviously have a property solicitor drop, a loan agreement, and then you would have some sort of security would be either registered caveat or registered mortgage on the title, personal guarantee. That's kind of your standard.
Yeah, nice. And sourcing these money partners, like when you're looking, let's say you are looking for a money partner, and like you've obviously got a network, you've been doing this for a few years, like you understand it. But if you're someone fresh, like are you going to like what's the strategy to try and find these? Because they've got to obviously, they want to believe that you're capable.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, there's networking events, so you'd go to that sort of stuff. I mean, you could go to, one of your BAI meetups, and
Yeah,
there's going to be buyers agents there with money who would probably be looking to maybe invest. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go to, I mean, I'm in Perth. There's Perth property developers have a meetup thing in Perth. Like, if you were from Perth and you wanted to go to that, you would network. A lot of people find people on Facebook. So my group's grown pretty quickly already, and yeah, people are already networking in there, getting money partners from each other. So so Facebook groups are great. You've got to be careful with what you ask. You can't go into too much detail, but if you just sort of post that you're looking for a money partner, and then you just negotiate between you and them, privately, sort of thing. Like 15% is not set in stone. It's whatever two parties it could be 17%. I mean, it's whatever two parties negotiate. Um, yeah. Obviously, if you were starting out, you might have to pay a little bit more, but typically speaking, money partners, when you're starting out, they'd probably want you to have some sort of skin in the game as well. So you're like, at least funding the renovation maybe, or they probably want to know that you're being coached or something like that, or you've got a mentor who can, that way you're not, completely green and completely winging it and going to lose their money.
so, what's the goal for you? I mean, we'll talk about this program because I want to understand a bit more around, what the larger vision is. But I
Yeah.
mean, do you see yourself doing buyer's agent work in the future?
Look, I don't know, like, and I've sort of the last couple of years has really opened my mind to the opportunities in this world. Like I sold new homes for like a long time, and I was just so tunnel vision, like as a salesperson, just chasing the next commission and stuff like that. And the last couple of years, I suppose, going more into this sort of space, I've especially money partners, it just like opened my mind up. Like, wow, you can make a lot of money without needing money, and there's
Mm.
that false that you need to have money to make money. It's absolute BS. Like at the end of the day, you can make serious money using other people's money. You just have to have the idea and then take the opportunity. So like yeah. So for me, I just want to keep growing. Grow this business. Invest in other business. I just want to keep growing, and buyers agents is it's obviously an interest, but one of the biggest challenges I'm finding at the moment is um, is not having people. Like I've got a couple of PAs now who are managing my course and stuff like that. But I think I suppose being still new to business, yeah, the whole I'm trying to scale and you know find people to help me on that journey, and yeah, so that's my challenge at the moment. But yeah, anything's an opportunity, anything's a possibility.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, right? What you made a few really good points around, this false belief that you need to have money to make money, and then people are stuck in this limited mindset that, hey, I can't do anything. And I think money partners. I mean, I'm obviously well aware, and I think you're right. Like, if you can network and get around the right people who have access to cash, and you've got the idea, and you can then go and execute, the world's your oyster. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, no, bang on. It's yeah, it's crazy. Like yeah, to think that you can, like you can do property deals without. I mean, I'll tell you about another way that you can do a deal. But I mean, I've done this as well. So seller joint ventures. So, you can literally flip a property and make 100K profit, like I have, on a deal without actually purchasing the property. So all you have to do is find a homeowner whose house is in dire need of a renovation, and they're in a sticky position, and you come along and you solve the problem for them. So they might want to get out, but the house is in a state where they feel like they can't sell it. So you can come along and provide them an offer, which so I'm just going to hiccup, provide them an offer, and then obviously get them out of the property. Again, you're creative in however you do it, whether you've helped find them a rental property or whether they've got family they can move in. You go in, do a 4 or 5 week renovation, put it on the market and sell it. They get their part, and then you get over and above whatever that is. So, but people think, oh, why would someone do that? But the funny thing is, and I've showed my students this, is that if you do a feasibility, if I was to buy a property off someone, I have to pay stamp duty, which I'm going to obviously that's wasted money, and then I've got holding costs. So like your whether it's a mortgage or money partner cost. So that money's dead money. So if I go to a homeowner off market, I can present them with two opportunities. So I can say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, I can give you X amount if I buy this property because I still need to make the minimum profit that I need to make at the other end, or I can give you a little bit extra if we do a joint venture. And then they're like, how do I get extra? It's like, well, because I don't have to pay, 20 grand stamp duty and I don't have another, 20 grand or 15 grand in holding costs, I can give you a little bit extra. So therefore I can come in and do a deal and they're winning because they're getting more than what I could have bought it for. And I'm winning because I don't have stamp duty and holding costs.
Mm, I love it. I love it. Last question before we finish up. Like, what's the vision for what you're doing now with your online program, your course for, I guess, teaching people how to flip and be successful in that field? Like, are you looking to really change or grow awareness within Australia around this opportunity? Like, what's the big vision for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just want it to, just to grow the community. I just want like a really strong, community both in the my public Facebook group, like grow that awareness through there, and obviously then the private students and that really build a I suppose a community where people can money partner with each other, and and do creative deals. I think that's just so much power in doing creative deals and obviously bringing people together. But yeah, just showing people my experience and showing the opportunity that is out there that they obviously didn't already know about, and yeah, just have an abundance mindset. Really, that there's enough for everyone to go around.
Love it, mate. Congrats. Love seeing where you're going with or where you've taken your career now. It's fantastic, and really keen to see what you do in 24 and 25 to blow this up. So well done.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate you having me on.
Cheers, Graham.